It is a big week down in St. Paul as Minnesota lawmakers head into the new legislative session, pushing for major investments in their neck of the woods. And here to share more about the hopes for the city of Duluth is Duluth Mayor Roger Reinert. Mayor, appreciate you taking the time to join us
Always,
again.
thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. First things first, before we dive into the politics of the new session, let us talk about all this snow we've been receiving. What has the process been like for crews tackling that here in Duluth?
You know, I think it's helpful for folks to keep in mind this is the first real winter we've seen in a couple of years. You know, in this storm we saw 10 to 16 inches depending on where you were in the city. And the crews really have been doing a great job. The P1s, those primary routes, are all pretty much clear. They've broken into the P2s, the residential side streets.
Okay.
Expect them to make really good progress on that throughout the day today. And by tomorrow, they'll be getting into the alleys and the side streets. The big thing for all of us is going to be our own part in that snow removal. So keep in mind that sidewalks belong to the homes and the businesses that abut that property. That's our responsibility. And then when you dig those cars out, if you were parked on the street, don't just park wherever you want. Alternate side parking is still in effect. You don't want to get ticketed or towed. You know, do find a spot that's been cleared, even if you have to walk a block in order to do that. That lets the plows come back through again. You know, it takes about 3 days for every day of an event. So we're probably looking at a good week of cleanup on this.
Yeah, some of those cars out there on the main streets are quite buried.
Yes.
Yeah, to say the least. Well,
Yeah.
hey, let's switch gears here. Let's talk about the new legislative session down in St. Paul. What are your hopes for securing investment here in the city of Duluth?
You know, this year's the short session. Last year was budget. This year really is intended to be about focus in local investment, these bonding projects. And for us, we believe in a really skinny, a really straightforward, a really short list. Number one is the water treatment plant. Services 135,000 residents in 4 communities. About $50 million in repairs that must be made there. It's not optional. And if the state doesn't partner with us on that, that's going to fall to homeowners and businesses to pay for those fees. Number 2 is replacing the seawalls at the Lot D project. So that's just to the right of Pier B when you're looking at the waterfront. That will allow for some residential, some retail, some additional public space, and potentially University of Minnesota facilities to be located there. But none of that can begin until the pier stops washing into the bay and out into Lake Superior. Number 3, we're partnering with asked by the Lake Superior Zoo for some improvements there. And then number 4, we're asking for the opportunity to think about things differently. We realize the federal government's not the partner it once was. The state of Minnesota has a looming budget deficit. So we're not asking for more money. We're just asking for the ability to think about things like a regional library or regional park system. We know that Duluth is providing these services that an entire region uses. So let us think about how we maintain and fund and even improve those services by asking more to participate in it.
We'll have to see how the legislative session goes. It's very important for Duluth to get the things that we need as well. Duluth Mayor Roger Reinert joining us here on First Alert 4. Thank you for your time,
Thanks,
Mayor.
Ryan.